What is going on, guys? I'm back again with another video, and this is my predictions for the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we're gonna get going, and this is gonna be very interesting. All three teams that I root for are in the playoffs, which that's happened like what, twice? Yeah, that rarely ever happens. But okay. First up, we're gonna start with the West because this is a tougher conference for me to pick. We have the Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. Me personally, I think this is a bad matchup for the Nashville Predators, but I still think they're going to win the series. I'm taking the Nashville Predators to win in 6 games over the Dallas Stars. I think the Stars will put up a fight, but Nashville, in the end, I think is going to take it, even though I don't think they're that good in the playoffs. Next up, we have the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. The St. Louis Blues are my second favorite team in the league. My heart wants the St. Louis Blues. I can easily see them winning. I know a Jets fan in a group chat that thinks the Jets will win. I'm like, no, the St. Louis Blues are really not that good in the playoffs. But I'm gonna be a little biased in this pick, and I'm gonna take the St. Louis Blues because I'm pretty confident that they can beat the Jets. But I can't see them winning. But I'm being biased in this pick. Next up, we have the Calgary Flames and the Colorado Avalanche. Now, the Calgary Flames choke. Let's face it. They could have beaten Anaheim in Game 3, and they blew that game, and I was like, yeah, they're done. This is not Calgary's year. I'm going to take the Colorado Avalanche in 7 games, reverse sweep style, honestly. I think this will be the biggest choke of the playoffs. Beside the Eastern Conference Final, of course. Moving on, we have the San Jose Sharks and the Vegas Golden Knights. San Jose really falls apart at the worst possible time. I'm going to take the Vegas Golden Knights to win this one. I think it's going to be a 4-game sweep because San Jose blows a lot in the playoffs. And then up in the East, we have my Tampa Bay Lightning going against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is an easy one for me. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning, the best team in hockey. Who can stop them right now? 62 wins, 16 losses, 4 overtime losses. That is ridiculous. And no, that is not going to be equaled. I don't see any record set by the 96 Wings getting equaled, or the 77 Habs. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Lightning to win in 4 games. This is obvious. Columbus sucks against Tampa. Let's be real. Moving on, we have the Boston Bruins and the Toronto. We have the Beantown Goons and the Toronto Maple Fleas, as I like to call them. This is easy. Boston in a sweep. And this will be a slaughter. This will be the slaughter fest of the playoffs because the Toronto Maple Leafs have a terrible defense, and it proves they cannot beat Boston. They have some sort of mental block when they play the Bruins. Next up, we have the Washington Capitals and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Washington Capitals are the only other team in the East I like. And I think they're the second best team in the East, not the Bruins. I think the Washington Capitals will take this series in 5 games. I think Carolina can put up a fight, but the Capitals are just too much. Next up, we have the New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins. People are saying this is going to be a series. Personally, I think this series is a little overrated. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to control it from the start, and I think the Penguins are going to sweep the New York Islanders away. The Islanders have no depth past their goaltending, and that's really going to haunt them in the playoffs. And then moving on, we have the Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues. As I predicted, honestly, this is a bad matchup for Nashville, and I think the St. Louis Blues are going to take advantage of it. Nashville just chokes, honestly. Seriously. Can't even win the freaking cup when you could have had it last year and the year before that. But I think the St. Louis Blues are going to win this series in 6 games over Nashville because I don't trust Nashville in the playoffs. I just don't. And then moving on, we have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. Sure, Colorado beat them twice, I think, in the season series. I still think Vegas is going to take it. Playoffs are a whole different animal now. I could easily see Vegas sweeping the Avs. I don't think the Avs are that good of a team. In my opinion, Montreal would have bumped them, and Montreal would have made the playoffs if they were in the West. And I think Arizona probably would have bumped Colorado if Arizona didn't have those early losses. But okay. Moving on, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Beantown Goons. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Lightning to win. This is way too easy. Rask is horrible against Tampa. Only reason we scored one against them with Rask in net is because that was our third game in 4 nights. 2 of those games haven't gone to overtime. Yeah. And then the Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think the Washington Capitals are going to do it again. I think the Washington Capitals are going to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I'm going to take the Capitals to win in 5 games. I think it will be a good series, but Washington wins in 5. And then in the Western Conference Final, we have the St. Louis Blues and the Vegas Golden Knights. I really don't know who wins this game. No, this series. St. Louis did sweep Vegas, but St. Louis can't get by the third round. They haven't made it to the final since the 70s. Give me Vegas in this one to make their second straight Stanley Cup final appearance. And the winner of the Washington Capitals or the Tampa Bay Lightning is going to meet them. And I think, and I hate to say this personally, I think the Washington Capitals are going to win this. And this is all I got to say. I'm a huge Tampa fan. I'm not going to be biased on this pick. Give me the Capitals over the Lightning. The President's Trophy is a jinx. Like literally the last few President's Trophy winners have lost in the playoffs. Especially you, Boston, and Washington, and New York, and Nashville. Vancouver, too. Yeah. 8 times. 8 President's Trophy winners have won the Cup. This is not a good sign. Washington wins, and I think it's going to be quick. And we have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals, a rematch of last year. I am going to take the Washington Capitals to win the Stanley Cup this year. Like I said, I really don't think Tampa's going to make it to the final because, the President's Trophy is a jinx. San Jose collapses at the worst possible timing in the playoffs. St. Louis really doesn't know how to win in the playoffs, and neither does Nashville. Winnipeg, if Washington or Tampa does not win the East, a Western Conference team will win the Stanley Cup. It's that simple. Because for me, the West is stronger than the East. The East is just the Bolts and the Capitals. No one else in that conference is really that good. And a big shout out to Cole Adams. This is the video and the thing. I just need to use it for the bracket because there isn't a bracket on Brackify, and obviously the playoff bracket challenge is not released yet. So yeah, that's gonna do it.